You are welcome to HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. R. Kelly's hope for a successful appeal is the lifeline we are all hanging on to see him return to freedom, and many have been anxiously waiting for the day this process will commence. A few days back we communicated 8th of March as the kickoff day when the process would start, with opening briefs from appellate attorney Jennifer Bonjean presenting her argument, which will be aimed at showing the 3-judge appeal court how the government abused and broke the U.S. law while trying to take down R. Kelly in what later turned out to be a highly prejudicial trial. Today we have received communication from reliable sources that the appeal process has been postponed and will commence on the 8th of April 2023. The success of this appeal is very important for defendant R. Kelly because the charges it will overturn are the ones that carry the most of his 30-year sentence, which was unfairly imposed on him by New York Judge Ann Donnelly. And once these are done with, R. Kelly will have another chance to return to freedom through an early release in Chicago. While there are many events on record that make the New York case appealable, the major argument in this particular appeal will be the illegalities involving the conduct of the government with the Bureau of Prisons officer in their joint operation with social media vlogger Tasha K. According to Tasha K's confessions and the information from our own private investigations, the Bureau of Prisons officer, who was from another jurisdiction and had no right to be accessing R. Kelly's prison communications while he was detained at the MCC, did access his records numerous times, and the purpose was unofficial but rather personal. Her aim was to find anything the government could use to win over his girlfriends, who initially were set to testify as defense witnesses. The prisons officer made sure to email herself copies of these private communications between R. Kelly and his girlfriends, as well as those with his attorneys, to her personal email, from which she later relayed the same to the popular vlogger Tasha K to publish, a task she accomplished well on the government's behalf. Tasha K did not stop there. She went ahead to fulfill another part of her assignment as given to her by the federal government informants, which turned out the most important arrangement, and this was sharing some of these conversations with the families of Azriel Clary and Joycelyn Savage, who we all know she worked with at that time. She had been their hands-on publisher responsible for putting out any information they wanted the world to know, and she had actually hosted them and given them a platform to speak and sell their narrative from time to time. By doing this, Tasha K, together with her informants, did commit a criminal offense described as witness tampering of aggravated nature that is punishable by law. It is suspected that the unofficial access to this information by the prisons officer had initially been intended to try and net R. Kelly in case he tried to tamper with the witnesses himself through intimidation, which he never did, and instead the government's racket decided to engage in the same offense of witness tampering themselves, expecting to get away with it unnoticed with all the impunity they hold. In other words, in the process of trying to catch R. Kelly in the act of witness tampering, they ended up engaging in the very act themselves. To better understand what we are discussing here, we will take you step by step through what witness tampering is, how it applies with the case against R. Kelly, and how this is likely to positively affect his New York appeal. Witness tampering is the act of attempting to improperly influence, alter or prevent the testimony or witnesses within civil or criminal proceedings and determine the outcome of their testimony. While intimidation is the most common and known form of witness tampering, there are various other forms. For as long as the aim of interaction is to in any way influence the outcome of their testimony, the act is illegal and punishable by law. In R. Kelly's situation, the government teamed up with the Bureau of Prisons officers and with vlogger Tasha K to form a racket or illegal enterprise dedicated to tampering with key witnesses on the case. The result was defense witnesses crossing over to become government witnesses, and speaking the very opposite of the truth they had initially intended to say in R. Kelly's defense. Meanwhile, even failed witness tampering attempts are criminal and punishable. Meaning, even if the government suggested that this was their position in the first place, the fact that they attempted this by feeding them with information which was never supposed to get into the public realm is already criminal enough to give R. Kelly a good appellate case. The government and Bureau of Prisons have no way of denying this, considering there is an FBI report on it, and it is for this reason that the release of this report has not been effected yet, years after the investigation was carried out. Tasha K made it a lot easier for us when she confessed to it several times, First to the FBI operatives who gave her a scare of her life by investigating her, and later to her followers when she discussed the matter with a one Natasha Simona, a popular radio presenter who hosted R. Kelly Speaking from Prison a while back. Meanwhile, it is also known that the government did threaten or rather intimidate some of the women in order to get them to testify against R. Kelly. The likes of Lisa Van Allen, who turned out to have been 18 when she met R. Kelly, had to continue working with the government even in Chicago, as she had been made to believe she too would be indicted along with Robert if she didn't cooperate. No wonder she was dragged to court and forced to testify in Chicago, where the government thought it needed her to pin down R. Kelly in the obstruction of justice case. This act of witness intimidation is in itself a crime and a form of witness tampering. If the case is reported, therefore, the government would be answerable to multiple counts of witness tampering. Why R. Kelly is still in prison when it is evident that the government committed crimes while trying to close in on him, and that they did this as organized crime in a racket with Tasha K and the prison's officer, it's hard to understand. We hope the appeal court is able to look into this issue with a keen eye and hopefully recommend that R. Kelly be acquitted and the New York charges dropped with prejudice. It is indeed clear that the government broke the law, like R. Kelly put it in his most recent address, and they will not get away with it just like that without a fight. According to Shiv Cares, one may wonder why this happened, but it's important to note that in Cook Country we have a prevailing problem. It is a place with family links everywhere, from the mayor to the high-ups and to police as well, these links being used to disrupt legal and business processes. Tasha K should be held accountable, along with the prison staff that may have helped her access this information through such illegal means. If you wish to take part in a live interview on this channel discussing any of these topics, let us know by emailing us on sashahnnewsroom@gmail.com for scheduling. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say? To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.